Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock your city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best you're ever around.
Hey, this is Paul Martin
And Ray the Roadie.
for the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. It's part 2 of the Gregg Potter interview. I haven't shut up for the last week.
Yeah, I bet you haven't.
I've been talking it up, man. Did I tell you about the Road to Rock Radio every Monday?
I think you did.
Okay, I thought I might have. I wasn't sure though.
Well, so part 2, we talked with Gregg, and part 1 was kind of his early years, his years leading up to playing with Buddy Rich, and now this part 1 was that. Part 2 is him talking about his days with the Buddy Rich Band,
Which are ongoing right now. So let's go and listen to part 2.
Let's do it.
I met Kathy I'd known her like much longer than it became a thing, you know what I mean? But Kathy knows every drummer in the world. I really think when they're like a drummer is born, they go, well, because every drummer in the world, you have to at some point you run across Buddy Rich.
You have to meet Kathy.
But you have to meet Kathy Rich because that's the only, because any drummer too, because I mean, I've been with her now 9 years. And I mean, I think I've met every drummer in the world.
But I'm a text every time one's born.
Exactly.
One in Baltimore just got born.
And show him a Buddy Rich video because he'll have to. But I'm saying, I've been with Bill Ward from Black Sabbath. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't. Or of course, Jason Bonham, but I didn't meet John. But I'm saying, so Bill Ward from Black Sabbath or Ian Pace from Deep Purple. I mean, I'm with them. I'm sitting in rooms with them talking. And Ian Pace actually played with us just last May in London at Ronnie Scott's. But getting back to the influence Buddy Rich has, because he has it today on drummers, because it's like even if you weren't a jazz guy, like say a name like Miles Davis, a legendary,
sure,
but not everyone that picks up a trumpet, I want to play like Miles Davis,
right?
Or if they hear Miles Davis, they don't go, the guy is brilliant, which he is when you listen to him and you're a musician, or just give me any other. But for some reason, when it comes to drums, at some point, every drummer goes, drums. There's this guy, Buddy Rich. I don't get it, or it's blah, blah, blah. So, I was talking to Bill Ward or he's talking to us, whatever, because Bill Ward was, him and Bonham were buddies. You know what I mean? Grew up together. You know what I mean? Right. So he said, but he's sitting and telling us that when a Buddy Rich record would come out, Bonham and I would, be at a studio. We'd put the album on, and we'd both put a snare drum on each side. Because back then, you didn't have a video, for one, so you would have to listen to a record, and how is he doing this? Right. Nowadays, you've got...
Right, you got video.
You got video of how is he breaking down this, but he's saying, no, Bonham...
Slow motion,
or just it's like another guy explaining, well, you see, Buddy's stick is coming up, and at that point it arches and comes back. So he's hitting with one hand. He's doing that with one hand? That's what... whatever. So he's saying that Bill Ward, from Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, these two men are sitting in a room figuring out what Buddy's doing.
Yeah.
And now, wouldn't you think like John Bonham was just probably talking to Jimmy Page? No, they were like Buddy fans. You said like the new album would come out, you'd get it. Whichever one got it first, we'd go, let's go to this back, what a studio, whatever he said. But put this record on, listen to it, figure out what Buddy's doing. So I'm saying
I was a guitar player and I still listen to Buddy Rich. Yeah.
See what I mean? Where you don't necessarily get that with many things. Like maybe like Michael Jordan kind of had that. Whereas even if you weren't a basketball fan, you were like, damn, that Jordan is a force of nature or something. You'd
watch the best athlete ever.
Exactly. Or Tiger Woods with golf. All of a sudden, everyone played golf because and I'm just saying, not that everyone picked up drumsticks, but I'm saying throughout, if you are a drummer, he comes into your sight. Now, as a young guy, playing drums and stuff, yes, I was a Buddy fan. But in real life, I thought I was going to be in Kiss or something. You know what I mean? I loved Buddy, and I played it, but
you more associated yourself with rock and roll or whatever.
Well, yes,
at the time.
But realistically, if you did see me play back even at Gordon Tech High School, you go, Potter's. There's something else going on in his head because the guy plays.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I always had that in me, and I did study, throughout. I was in the school band.
Well, you were very animated too.
Well, but I mean, like I even say today, if you close your eyes and just listen, like he really knows what he's doing. If you just shut his mouth, don't find the camera and look at. If he just shut up and play, Potter'd be.
Did he give you a microphone on stage?
That happens too. The next interview when you get Kathy and you say, but I mean, we get to what we do with the Buddy Rich thing is it's not that I'm taking anybody's place. It's not that we think Potter's Buddy Rich. No. Right. What it is and what Buddy Rich asked his daughter to do, because unfortunately when Buddy passed, he had an illness that it took a bit of time. So, I mean, you're with your family and you're talking as opposed to my dad went to sleep and he was gone. Or, a car wreck or a plane wreck. Like, I don't know who talked to Buddy Holly before he passed away and was able to... Whatever, but I mean, Buddy sitting with his daughter. There's only one daughter. Kathy and her mom. That's it. I mean, I'm talking to be with Buddy. Right. And he said, "Would you please keep my music alive, man?" Because he loved playing for. That's why he played high schools and colleges. He loved like playing for young people. And if you notice, his band was made up of kids. He didn't play like he was in his 50s. His band was college seniors or just out of college, 20-year-old guys, 50-something-year-old man. I'm just saying that's a jump, but I'm saying he loved this, like the spirit of young people, the creativity, because you see how it goes. The older you get, you're kind of like, this is how I play if you don't dig it. Right. When you're young, so I'm saying Buddy was hip to that, and he totally dug that. So he said, Kathy, keep my music out there. Keep it going like I'm doing. Right. Well, that's kind of a... she says it. First of all, it's her dad. It's not like you're working for a company.
Joe Schmoes.
You're working for Pepsi, and the president of the company is like, make sure people are always drinking soda when I leave. And you're like, and it's your dad. So she's like, part of it, she's looking at her dad, who at that time is not he's 69. That's friggin' young. But he had a terrible medicals, and so he's saying, like, would you just keep my music going, keep the band going? She says at that time, I don't really take it because it's my dad, and I first of all don't want him, and I don't think he's gonna die, but I'm going to. So unfortunately, he does pass on, and Kathy says, I'm left with just what my dad wanted me to do, was keep the band going, keep my music alive, just don't forget me. Which, when you think about it, I feel bad because, I see her when she tells the story, she's talking about her dad. We talk about it like, or not we, but like when you talk about, sometimes she refers to him as like Buddy. And I say, why do you not say dad? Because he's like, when I could tell you it's Buddy, it's almost like I'm not thinking about it. Kid lost her dad, or parent. The mom's still here, so we can talk to her. But what she originally did the Buddy Rich Memorial Concerts. You might be familiar with those. Basically, you had the Buddy Rich Band, and basically she got together for each concert, maybe 6 to 8 of the world's greatest drummers.
Oh, okay.
Vinnie Colaiuta, Steve Smith, Terry Bozzio, Dave Weckl, and at that time, Louis Bellson was still alive. Ed Shaughnessy from Tonight Show.
Right.
I'm saying you got the Peter Erskine, the biggest names in the drumming business, in the drumming world, because Buddy passed away in 87. Her first show was 89.
Yeah.
So whoever the biggest drummers were,
Right.
that's how her first, keeping her dad's name alive. They were at Carnegie Hall. They did one. They've done them at the Wiltern Theater in L.A. You did these big concerts with drummers. Well, that was once a year, maybe every 3 years.
Yeah.
And Kathy,
Organize the whole thing.
yeah, but she's saying that's not really because what it becomes is a big
Right.
drum festival with a band playing there. And she's like, my dad kind of asked me, because as time has gone on now, we're talking, you sit and you think, well, that's what my dad meant.
Yeah.
He meant a band. Get the band.
Get the band back together.
Basically a Blues Brothers reference, because we're talking about the
right.
museum. But when she does these big shows, these big Buddy Rich Memorial Concerts, the guys that if you're a drummer, yes, coming to see Dave Weckl or
Right.
Rod Morgenstein or these drum virtuosos, yes, if you're a drummer, that would be your ultimate thing is to watch someone overplayed great.
Right.
To you and I, it's called overplaying. Or not, to me, it's called excellent. But to a guitar player, any other human, I don't want this guy in my band, but he's great. The most popular show, the biggest thing she ever had, was getting Neil Peart to come play.
Oh, really?
But now that's a big...
That's a big name.
The biggest thing the biggest rock drummer. Terry Bozzio, Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Matt Sorum at the time playing with Guns N' Roses. People wanted to see. The audience would get bigger when she had these rock guys.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying they were playing the music authentically or right.
No, it was their name. It was their name that was driving.
It was their name, but it was also, I think you had mentioned it, maybe the animation of a rock drummer or something.
Right.
There's more, it adds to it. I'm just saying, Kathy sees that the
rock guys are drunk.
So I'm saying, was it technically right? Did it rub the jazz community the wrong way? Would Buddy have accepted it? This is Buddy's daughter. So when Buddy passed away in 1987, his next album at that point was going to be produced and help written by Phil Collins. And when you look into Buddy Rich and you see what he was about, as much as he loved jazz and he always looked ahead.
Right.
He did the Muppet Show. Did you think jazz aficionados wanted you to fool around on the Johnny Carson show, pouring water on Don Rickles' head?
Yeah.
I mean, Buddy was just... He would have... If Buddy were my age, I believe he would be where... Like I said, we'll talk about what we're going to be doing and stuff. But I'm saying Buddy was... I don't want to say ahead of his time, but he skewed young. I'm saying Buddy was not about nostalgia. There's a Johnny Carson show that we watch where Johnny Carson picks up a picture of Buddy as a kid playing the drums, and Buddy looks at it and puts it away, and Kathy's like, "Oh yeah, he never when you went to see Buddy Rich, he didn't
go back.
Doesn't like to go back.
Looking forward.
He's a visionary.
Yeah. I'm saying, but he always wanted to move ahead as opposed to, you didn't go see him and then he played old Harry James tunes, or he always skewed young. So getting back to this, how it happens that Potter is now sitting playing this music. So through these memorial concerts that she did for 15 years, but again, it wasn't, her dad said, would you get the band out?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, how are you going to get Steve Smith to tour with the Buddy Rich Band when he plays in this band called Journey?
Right.
First of all, you got to give all your money to Steve Smith.
Right.
And then, by the end of the night, it becomes a drum clinic.
Yeah.
So we've now, whereas Buddy, like you said, I'm a guitar player, but I'd love to watch that guy play.
Sure.
Or I'm interested. His music was still big band music, horns, but he played Beatles charts. He played back when the Beatles were still the Beatles, and there's Gino Vanelli chart, did Jesus Christ Superstar. I mean, the guy was always thinking, skewing young. So after years of these memorial shows, Kathy and I, like I've always known her and I've always teased her that, you should, or not always, but I mean, I would say like, I'd like to do one of those shows. Like, you're not in Guns N' Roses. I need the big guys. The guys in Rush. Guys in, I mean, whatever. But, so Kathy and I got together 2011. More so than, I mean, her and I always talk and stuff, but personally we get together. And, oh, so you had to do that to get the gig. That's not how that's because the relationship realistically too isn't based on her dad and drumming. It happens at Potter. I play the drums. That's how I met the woman. But realistically, she's more interested in my 1980s, 70s, 80s bad horror film collection and my collectibles. You know what I mean? Like Creature from the Black Lagoon hand. Or but so I'm saying, but our interest wasn't like, God, so did your dad then play with his left hand? And he didn't practice. I'm saying, yes, I'm interested in that, and it helped in that, as you being a musician. If you have a relationship with someone who doesn't like music, or doesn't like you being in a band or working, honey, I'm going to practice. If the wife is really interested, I'm saying, so yes, that kind of it, Kathy really does know the business. You know what I mean? Like, so we meet on many other levels other than that. But while we were doing that, and I'm gigging, I mean, so she came and she moved here, and she sees what I'm doing. You know, I was gigging at what rock band? I don't know, whatever, but I'm playing, and we conceptualized what would happen if I played with the Buddy Rich band. Because, like you said, we're kind of animated, but I really know how to play too. Like if I don't open my mouth or don't, ruin it by the clothes, the hair. But I mean, if I just play, I really and it was okay. So we came up with the concept in I came up with the concept probably like July of 2011. My first gig was the London Palladium, April 2012. We played the London Palladium. We did a Buddy Rich 25th memorial concert. It was me, Dave Weckl, Ian Pace, John Blackwell, he was playing with Prince at the time, Gavin Harrison, Porcupine Tree. So it was one of those big drum festivals, all the drummers, but Kathy and I, we snuck Potter in there.
Okay.
So I'm saying floating the concept.
Right.
And now, again, we use Buddy's like alumni players.
Right.
These men would have been in their 20s when they played with Buddy, but now they're in their 50s, early, which is still young.
Yeah. Still playing.
But they're still right. These men now have, Grammy Awards, and they've gone on to. Many of them have gone on to, like the LA guys. They do every film soundtrack you've ever. If they're not playing here, they're doing the soundtrack for the new Star Trek movie, and all the New York guys play on Broadway. I mean, they're all like they've done the Lion King for. But I'm saying these are working real pros, or they're. One of the guys is playing horn. One of the horn players plays with Joe Bonamassa now. I'm saying they're either like real touring guys or, I mean, Chuck Finley, the one trumpet player that played with us, was in Buddy's original band. That man is trumpets on every Earth, Wind, and Fire song you've ever heard. Steely Dan. I mean, he's one of the Wrecking Crew. If you ever see that film? I mean, so I'm talking any trumpet you hear on the Carpenters. So I mean, these men all went on to. A lot of these alumni players have gone on to some amazing careers. So we have those because Kathy, these guys. It's kind of like going back to like a college reunion. We get all these guys, but so we floated it in 2012. So from 2012 until 2019, in those 7 years, for 7 years I've been doing the Buddy Rich Band, and we've taken it from playing basically venues that I played the London Palladium.
So how'd you go over that first time?
So first time, well, you could read some of the things on like YouTube. Some of them aren't really that nice. But as you find in art, or you find, because you guys are musicians and you're on it,
You find your niche.
well, not only find your niche, but remember, you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for, yes, you do it for people to enjoy.
Right.
But I'm saying when you do find out, like people write mean things or something like that. My litmus test was, first of all, Kathy, because that's her dad.
Yeah.
And she knows
She knew.
the alumni players who really played with Buddy.
Right.
And then Kathy's family.
Yeah.
Cousins, her mom.
Yeah.
First of all, if you're carrying on like a legacy of something that large, I never went at this. You see, they found the new Buddy.
Yeah.
You go on YouTube, you can find a 12-year-old kid in Indonesia that
Right.
plays the drums
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
than. Not better than Buddy Rich. Nobody's better than Buddy Rich.
Right.
But I'm saying, you know, I mean, if we're going for better, faster.
Yeah.
Remember when you buy that 2019 Mercedes-Benz?
Yeah.
They come up with a 2020, and yours is old, and it's not as good.
Right. Yeah,
The
absolutely.
gold Rolex watch, they put diamonds on it,
Yeah.
and there's always better. So that was, we never took it that way. So I'm saying, we always, and that, like I said, when we did the band and we went out and played after the London Palladium, we went out and started playing gigs. Kathy said that's more of what my dad wanted, more of like a band play,
Right.
because that's the other magic.
And you probably play more often than once every 3 years or something, right?
There you go. And that, so I'm saying, and again, so then Kathy's got her father's legacy out,
Right.
but I'm saying that's what you do things for. Yeah, she's doing it for her dad. And I'm not saying we're shunning the public, but I'm saying, yes, it's been pretty harsh, because Michael Jordan's daughter said, "Here, take the Bulls over and start playing."
Yeah.
You don't think someone's going to go, what? You know.
Yeah.
Not, and you're not Michael Jordan's kid.
Right.
Because Kathy's not like Jason Bonham. When you see Jason Bonham do that Led Zeppelin thing, it's pretty good. I mean, that kid plays. That's his dad.
Right.
Now, Kathy's not a drummer.
Right.
She's got the musical dangerous. She's got perfect pitch.
Right.
She knows she can hear a tune and go, "That's this." She could hear the second trumpets out of tune. Could you bring? She's got that. She doesn't have the rhythmic, doesn't sit down and play the drums like
Right.
Buddy. But I'm saying, when you see Jason Bonham play,
Yeah.
that's the bottom line. That's the direct lineage
Yeah.
of Bonham to that kid, and the man, he plays wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. So I'm saying, with this, me coming in, I'm not a blood.
Right,
I'm not
right.
Buddy Rich's lineage, but that's
But it's a fit for you.
it's worked.
Now, in a live show, if you don't
Yeah.
have any interrupts, Kathy sings, right?
Yes.
And she comes out and talks. She introduces the band or whatever.
Yeah.
Or talks.
Well, yeah, Kathy did. She toured with her dad from when she was a little kid.
Right.
You could see she was 11. She did "The Beat Goes On,"
Right.
the Sonny and Cher tune, with Buddy on a television show. She got signed to what record label? No, we have to wait for her to call me back. But I'm saying, yeah, she had the youngest record deal on that. I mean, so yeah, she was in the business
Right.
as a singing with her dad and touring with her dad.
Yeah.
So from 5 years old or so on, but when she got to be a teenager, Buddy got her on stage and she sang. So yes, with the band, that's kind of what. She is the real thing.
Yeah.
When she does talk about Buddy and the music, or the Buddy and the band, that really is her. So yeah, she comes up and sings the tunes that she actually sang, because we play all Buddy's real charts.
Right.
I mean, it's not it's, I guess, not a tribute band, because it's really alumni players. So it's basically you're just you're fitting Potter in there to. And like I said, I don't mean of course it's a tribute to him, but that's not what I'm doing. I don't dress like Buddy and do everybody. I mean, like when you see a Beatles tribute band or a Kiss tribute band, they put the makeup on and they become Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
I'm not spitting blood.
No.
My tongue's not that long.
Right. But okay, now you talk about charts. Do you read charts?
I read them enough to. Well, luckily, no Buddy charts, but yes, I can read. I can read music, and
Or do you do most of it by ear?
oh gosh, yes,
Yeah.
the nuance of Buddy and what you're doing with that.
It can't be written on a chart. Right.
You can. I mean, you could, but that's not, because that's another thing that you do find with when people read music, read a chart. Mr. Analogy, as you call it, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with acting. I did that too. But you've got a script in front of you,
Right.
and you read this person's words. But when you're doing a play or you're in a movie or something, they tell you to go off book.
Right.
What they mean is at that point,
Right.
you better have memorized this stuff and started to become that character,
Right.
because we're going to tell if you're going to be or not to be.
Yeah.
To be or not to be. I memorized it. Okay, well, put that down.
Yeah.
And to be or not to be, whatever. So, how's that going to sound with just audio? To be? But I'm saying, so yeah, with the Buddy Rich thing, yeah, these men, because we do. Kathy and I show up in London with a case of music, a Buddy Rich drum set, me and her.
Yeah.
And you hand these guys music, they play it.
They play it, yeah.
But for a drummer,
But I mean, that's what I meant. Not for a drummer. You can't chart what his feel, his heart, his.
right. So I'm just saying, yes. What I'll do is if there are certain parts of a tune, because some of Buddy stuff is sometimes quite intricate,
Right.
So yes, but yes, I read through a certain section and see where it's at, see where it fits. But I'm saying I don't get up there and I just turn the page and
Right.
see. I'm keeping time. Which is what a lot of times ends up with someone who plays.
So
Yeah.
what have you learned from playing Buddy Rich music, or learn from playing jazz as opposed to rock or whatever?
Well, it's, like I said, I respect both of them, and none of this stuff that I'm doing, I'm just. Some people would say, well, Potter's just, stomping all over jazz. Well, there were people that felt that Buddy was noise. True jazz aficionados feel Buddy's too much.
Right.
They like drummers like Max Roach or these men that they feel. And I'm saying that's great. I'm not knocking any of that. But what I've learned is, first of all, respect everybody, be it rock musicians, jazz musicians. But I'm telling you, it's a different animal. Vice versa. I don't mean just rock to jazz, but let me see you take a jazz guy and go play a Zeppelin tune. Yeah, you're right. Oh, it's easier. Yeah? Okay, there might be a few less notes, but so, and vice versa.
Right.
Okay, so from banging, play your ride cymbal quiet enough that we can hear. So I'm saying respect is what I've learned, and then just how great the guy was or is. How great to emulate something, or with anytime you look at anything. I do that Bonzo Bash every year in L.A. It's basically a Buddy Rich memorial concert, but for Led Zeppelin, for John Bonham. And same deal. You kind of hear like a Zeppelin song on the radio, and you just go, he's playing heavy.
Yeah.
You sit down and play that stuff, you're like,
Right.
man,
It's
more to it.
yeah, Zeppelin. They were deep, either the odd times, stuff in five, whatever, odd time things, or just the feel of that. Because that's the other thing I've learned. A musician's feel, that's something that can't be taught.
No.
That's something that can't.
That's why I said you can't chart what Buddy played.
Yes, or you can't chart feelings.
Right.
On the script, it would say, or you
Play
read.
with feel or play,
But how do you get to? And that's so just the respect, and then feel, and just.
Yeah.
But for the things I do, it does enter into dream come true. I do things that it just comes out as so then Potter just sat and bragged to you for 2 hours or something. But I'm talking about I get to do and sit. Realistically, think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
From a guy that, like I said, the high school gym, you get plucked out, and I'm sitting in a dressing room of the London Palladium, and they had the real sign that on a brass plate that they had on the door for Buddy Rich when he played because at the London Palladium was where they did the command performance for the Queen. Mm-hmm. So Buddy did that in 1977. Kathy has the plaque. You know what I mean? Because they put when you play the Palladium,
Right.
the Beatles play. It wasn't like nowadays. You go to a gig and they write it with a marker, and you're sitting there. Back in the day, when you're playing for the Queen of England, they had a plaque. It said it just said Buddy Rich. But I'm saying, so here's this guy like me, just sitting there going, "Wow, that's." Did you ever think
Is this happening? Yeah.
Yeah. Is this happening? I was just at dinner last week with Ian Gillan from Deep Purple. And he came to see us at Ronnie Scott's in London.
Yeah.
Think about it. You know how many times I played a Deep Purple song in my as a kid, and now and he's telling, and Ian Gillan's telling you how, because remember too, these rock guys, you can kind of do what they do. They can't do that.
Yeah, right.
I mean, because I was just with Ian Pace. He lets me sit right on the stage. Did you see those pictures on the social? Like, Ian Pace, he let me, the Deep Purple just played here in Chicago last week. He let me sit right on the stage with him, like right next to his drums. I mean,
really?
Oh, yeah. So, but I'm just sitting right next to his drums, behind the amps. I'm right behind Roger Glover's bass stack. But I'm sitting, he's like, I want to watch you play today. He just put a drum throne next to his.
Yeah.
And Kathy said Buddy would do that, like for kids, like if people wanted it, but I also, I played some rotten nightclub in Naperville, like thing too. I mean, I go out, I still am a working musician. The Buddy Rich thing is kind of like when you pulled in, you see the Ferrari dealer there.
Yeah.
I guarantee you the salesman at that dealer only has to sell one of those cars compared to the guy down the street at the Ford dealer who's got to probably, or the Chevy dealer, he's got to sell a bunch of Ford Escorts.
Right.
Or a real estate person selling, you can sell the one big house in Barrington Hills.
Yeah. Or
So I'm saying the Buddy Rich thing is kind of, the gigs are not as steady.
Not as often. So.
Not as often, but when you do them, they're just, they're quite, like it's a big ticket item.
Yeah.
It's as opposed.
How many shows a year do you do?
Well, like last year we did 22, maybe 30. So I mean, it would play out to we don't tour like the old days. Like Buddy was, like I said, I think 320 dates out of 365. That man was either on a bus, playing one nighters. But then he would play. Back in the early days, he would have like a stint somewhere where Kathy will talk about that's why like when she lived in Vegas when she was a little kid, he played with the Harry James Orchestra because he didn't want to tour. But so you would play every night. Back when Vegas was, so you'd have like those kind of, but for the most part, Buddy was on that bus or in a plane, one-nighters. Yeah. Playing playing club, but then,
He talked to you with the Riverside Brookfield.
Yes.
I saw Buddy Rich there at Riverside Brookfield.
Yes. I came there the year after.
Really?
But yes, you were living on the south side or living
I was living on the south side.
Yeah, he played Buddy.
And Marty Marosha and I came.
Marty is exactly. He's a Buddy guy.
A
Buddy guy.
Yeah.
He's a Buddy fan. But yes, he played 1973, 72, 73. We moved to Riverside in. I went. Yeah, we moved. We moved. I didn't. I was still in grade school, but I'm saying I wasn't there when I came to high school. We had Maynard Ferguson. And Peter Erskine was playing drums with Maynard Ferguson, who came to Japan with us in 2015. So I got to tell him, Peter, I saw you when I was a child. He's like, how old are you, man? Because I look a little younger than he thought I was. I'm like, well, I saw you with Maynard Ferguson. He goes, dude, I was just out of college.
Yeah.
I said, well, I was just in high school.
Yeah.
But Buddy Rich played there. And
I remember going there and seeing him.
I mean, you were able to see that, man. That's why Kathy said, like, how many times you see my dad? I only really saw Buddy 4 times.
Okay, that was my next question.
I saw him 4 times. Oakbrook Mall, which is right here.
Yeah.
Mr. Kelly's as a kid. Remember Mr. Kelly's down on Rush Street? My dad took me into a nightclub back when I was 10.
Yeah.
Then I saw him at high school, Downers Grove North, and then I saw him at Morton West High School. So 3 high schools, because I was a kid, and 1 nightclub. And she's like, my dad was in Chicago because he loved Chicago.
Yeah.
So she said whenever he was crisscrossing she goes, he always, Mr. Kelly's would always have
Mr.
them.
Kelly's.
Or just, there were schools and there were more places to play. M&R Rush.
There's Mr. Kelly's, there's a Happy Medium, a couple of places down there.
But she said he loved Chicago, so you could have seen my dad like every month. And I'm like, you would always see it in the paper or something. Yeah. And you see him next time.
Yeah,
I'll see him next time. What was that place on the south side? Condesa Del Mar.
Oh, yeah.
Which I played with The Groove and M&R Rush.
Yeah.
We played Condesa Del Mar.
Oh, yeah.
I remember. I got the set list somewhere. All right, this actually did turn into a marathon. So
Yeah,
we should,
so tell us how people can find you and find out about where you're playing and when you're playing.
I'm going to New York next week. When is this thing airing? I'm going to New York.
You're doing
next
a clinic?
week.
You're doing a clinic?
Yeah, I'm playing at we're playing at a place called the Cutting Room with the band.
Oh, with the
on
band.
November 3rd.
Okay.
Sunday, and then Monday I at the Collective, the Drummers Collective in New York.
Okay.
I do a clinic. Kathy is with me, so she'll answer all the real questions.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like, ooh, I did right, left, right, left, right. And then Kathy gets the, did your dad practice?
Yeah.
He played 320 dates a year. The man didn't, when he came home,
Yeah.
I want to watch Buddy's probably still crying over the Yankees right now. Total Yankee fan.
Yeah.
So, Kathy and Buddy are. But yeah, so you could find me at thebuddyrichband.com and GreggPotter.com.
Okay.
So, I mean, internet-wise, and then, of course, like Facebook.
Right.
But if you're going to write something rotten...
Yeah. Stay home.
Like I said, what have I learned? Just shut up.
I don't think anybody has anything wrong to say about you.
They don't say nothing bad about Buddy Rich. They're talking about me. They say mean things about me. But I'm saying... That's another thing I learned. Just shut up and play your drums and
Let it roll off.
Yeah, and just be like I said. I'm happy. Like say like tomorrow it like stopped.
Yeah.
I won't feel like.
Well, you felt like you've accomplished something, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, being a musician.
You got asked to be on our podcast. I mean, that has to be one of your pinnacles of your career.
That's what. And the whole time. I was able to thank the M&R Rush guys because I'm telling you, from the high school to come, and I knew the second tune. So you opened up with something, then when You're the Only Woman was your second tune.
Yes.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm talking whatever Buddy Rich music's in my head.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you can remember that
From 1979, 80? Yeah, because it had been 80, and that was Condesa Del Mar. Okay, first club we played, was it with you? Was it MR? You remember a club called Night Moves?
Yeah. In Oak Lawn?
Was that where, I was so young, I don't even remember where, it was Southside.
Quicksilver was on Southwest Highway.
Yeah, but then I think it was also
Was it called Night Moves? I think there was M&R Rush, Dreamer, and the Groove.
Wow. It could have been.
Potter knows, he remembers a lot of stuff. Yeah, but it was Night Moves. That would be the first, because even when we played with Teenage Radiation, we were so young, like when we played the Park West, Skender and I had to stay downstairs in that dressing room by the kitchen.
Yeah.
They didn't let us into the the venue part. But we walked around the side and got on the stage because we were still. Roman was older than both of us, so I think he was 21, but Skender and I were really teenage. I think when Roman, he might have been 19 or whatever, but Skender and I were so young. I know we stayed down, like we couldn't even get. So coming to clubs, it was like Night Moves. I would have been 16, 17. They probably thought it was like a little kid sitting up there. Oh, okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank
Appreciate it.
Hey, Ray, did you put a quarter in Greg or what?
I unfortunately gave him my credit card. I boy! I think I got maximum amount of credits.
The guy doesn't stop, does he? But that's what keeps him going. I think is playing the music and talking about it.
Exactly, having fun, man. You got to keep having fun. Once it's not fun anymore, forget about it.
Yep.
And he's having a lot of fun, and he's got some great stories, man. He doesn't forget anything.
Yeah, he's got some things in the works too that we really can't talk about. But he told us on the side that he's got some things happening that it'll be announced shortly.
Yes, they will.
So follow him. Follow him at
GreggPotter.com.
GreggPotter.com or
BuddyRichBand.com.
And find out. Just stay tuned and he's got some things happening in the near future.
Definitely, and don't forget to listen to us every Monday at 6:00 on the Road to Radio. RoadToRockRadio.net.
What was that? What was the name of the show?
It's the RoadToRockRadio.net at 6:00 every Monday. They feature one of our podcasts, but don't just listen on Monday. Listen every day. They feature all Illinois-based music.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And it's a great station. So thanks for listening, everybody. and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk soon.
Chicago, rock and roll.